What's up? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing? You're tuning into Horizontal Refreshments, episode 4 of, I guess, what is our first season or something like that? Or...
Yes, it is our first season.
Season 1,
episode 4.
Yes.
On this episode, Nene Leaks will
We'll be returning for a special episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yes. Well, we got to talk about a lot of good stuff, but
wait, friend, you always forget. I feel like
oh,
I was actually
I'm
watching the Breakfast Club, and they introduce themselves as well known as they are every show.
Oh,
and maybe because I'm going to school for journalism. Hello. I'll be taking cues from this show. So I will start and introduce myself. I'm going to stop using the 3 names. Just call me Don. That's my name. So my name is Don. How y'all doing? How you doing?
I am Jamal, Jamal, J to the A to the M, whatever.
Now he want to add extra stuff in his name.
Brett, heart attack.
Yes,
Back
just
with
like
the back
that.
to back.
Yes.
Period.
And like we said, this is episode 4 of the wettest podcast around.
All this water, honey.
All this
Keeps it
water.
moist.
Keeps it moist for you. So yeah, let's get into this. Do you see what I see? What's on TV? I don't know.
Do you see what I see?
Okay, we want to start with. Let's start with I think what will be the shortest conversation,
The
which with
Vikings.
Basketball Wives is coming back.
Basketball Wives or Vikings?
The Vikings. Are you talking about football?
Talking about his show.
Oh, okay. So shit. Well, that gonna be the shortest conversation.
Yeah, probably because I'm the only one who's seen it.
Because we don't have nothing to say about it.
Right.
I'm sorry.
saying.
Go ahead,
Right.
Jamal.
Well, I think
Get
a
into
little
it.
bit last
Stick to the-
time we talked about it, but Vikings is all I've been watching. No matter if I'm coming home at 3 a.m. and I try to watch it, I fall asleep 15 minutes in, and 12 episodes pass, and I'm like, okay, it's dope. It's a historical drama about the Viking age, which I cannot remember the exact days. It's like 825 AD, something like that. But if you're a big history buff, if you like, action, basically your Game of Thrones / Lord of the Rings / that type of stuff. If you into that, you're gonna like it because I like it, and I like violence. I like fighting. I like
violence,
blood. I like I like pretending like I'm in there or what I would be like if I was a character in the show.
That is interesting coming from the least volatile person in the room.
Right.
Well, between the 3 of us, I don't know how the Darius over here gets down.
Cute
But girl, we fought
I'm a
together.
hippie.
We have fought side by side.
Vikings, 2 Vikings right here.
We have gotten to fights together, so
What you're talking
don't let her
about,
fool
sir.
you.
Have you ever got like jumped and both of y'all was like fighting multiple people?
No,
I mean, we were in like brawls,
yeah.
but we were never like together. I don't think I've ever even actually been jumped.
I got jumped once
Yes,
when I hit that girl.
and I wasn't there.
No, you weren't there. That was the fight that I had called you for. You said we was taking too long and you had to work, and so you
That's
left.
He made me. I jumped out the
I got this
shower.
time frame to fight, and if you're not
My
in it,
hair was wet. Shampoo was still in it. I did not care. I was like, my friend said it's time to go. It's time to go. So
I do want to point out, just to give a little, add some context to these situations. We are almost 30. These situations we're talking about are from 19, 20, 21.
I think
I just wanna
it
be
was
very
right before
clear.
I met Doug, matter of fact.
Yeah, it was.
So I was like 18 because I
Yeah.
met Doug at 19.
So we were kids. This is not something we do now.
Right.
I wish Brittany
I'm
would
old.
call me for a fight. I'd be like, girl, figure it out.
figure it out.
Oh, hell.
Figure it out. Let me know.
Girl, figure it out. I got too much going on to lose because you don't like this girl. You don't know why you don't like this girl. Y'all just don't like each other and y'all want to fight.
The
Child,
older
bye.
I get, I feel like Jennifer after Evelyn and friends smacked their ass on Basketball Wives. I feel like, bitch, I'm gonna fight with my attorneys. I'm gonna do
Yep.
like the white folks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I ain't got
Yes.
time to be fighting.
You'll be
bitches.
here.
Why would I hop in some
Lawyer.
beef when I could just file? Wait, no. How does it
Hop in the
go?
Porsche.
No. It's a
What?
saying that goes. It's like,
What?
why would I hop in some beef when I could just file a report? You said you gonna do what to who? I'll see your ass in court. So that's what I was trying to say. But yes, I couldn't remember it. But why would I hop in some beef when I could just file a report? You said you gonna do what to who? I'll see your ass in court. So yes, that's what I'm on now. I'm pressing charges.
Yes, Absolutely.
Please hit me. Now, one thing that I will say is that I don't think I can contain myself if a motherfucker spit on me. Now, that has been I've always said that if somebody spits on me, I just don't know what I would do.
Yeah, you lose control. It's like just like New York did.
I would like
she,
to
she
think
didn't know what to
that
You
I would have
motherfucking
restraint.
whore! See that bitch spit on me?
I don't play
Oh,
it.
it smell like
I didn't
shit.
play that shit.
But you
Her
know,
breath smelled like straight up shit. Okay.
Another thing that makes me, I was just watching recently was when, because I've been watching Basketball Wives back,
Mhm.
and when Eric threw the drink in Jennifer's face.
Oh yeah.
That scene made me so mad because I swear to God, he wouldn't have been able to make it turning around. He never would have made it out the restaurant. He would not have made it out that
Yeah,
restaurant.
I think that
I don't give a fuck.
what's crazy is that you remember that scene when K Michelle threw the candle at Rashida?
I just watched that
That's
back
when they were in the
too.
kitchen, right?
Yeah. So I remember watching it, and my mom was watching it with me, and my mom had said something. She said that's the most disrespectful thing you can do outside of spitting on someone is throwing something at them.
Yeah.
And so
Especially fire.
Exactly.
Because they're saying you don't care about
Bitch, you
like
wasn't
their
just
humanity
throwing
at
something
all.
heavy. Like, it's fire, bitch.
You want to throw fire? You want to throw fire at me? That's
Right, but you know, our parents do stuff at us though.
You ain't
Mom.
never throw shit at me.
Now
That's
you know
your mama.
Glenda Carter.
That's your mama. Don't include
How mad she
Crystal in
like,
that.
oh.
Crystal probably wish she had thrown something at me, but my mama ain't throw shit at me.
Interesting story about throwing things. When I was 13 years old, I didn't know that babies threw up on you.
Oh yeah.
So you know my little cousin
You about to say
Sean.
you threw the
Yeah.
baby.
I threw the baby when he threw up on me. I threw him. Luckily, I threw him onto a bed,
Lord.
but I threw him, and to this day, everybody said that's why he's special.
Jamal, has he ever explained to you that he is not good in crisis situations?
Yeah.
Like, do not call this man if something is like seriously wrong
my
with
car
you,
is
especially
about
like
to fall over the
medically or
edge.
something.
Yeah, medical. Let's be clear,
No,
like in
like
those type
medically.
of situations, yes.
So our younger brother, he suffers from like seizures and stuff
Mhm.
sometimes, and I think he was like having one
In the
This
bathtub.
fool gonna tell him to take some Pepto Bismol.
I was 14.
He was
Screaming.
panicking, you know what I'm saying? But it was just like, wait, what? And when he first told me the story, he said it's so casual. I'm like, wait, what? Whoa.
Maybe this
You
will help
said
you.
what? Like, at first I thought he meant it in a mean way because he used to be
Mhm.
just such an evil ass child. I thought that he meant it in a mean way. I was
was
like, why
mean.
would you say that? But
Yeah.
he just not good in
I
them
don't remember. I don't remember
situations.
that being in the commercial because like heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Diarrhea. Hey,
See-
Pepto Bismol.
Remix.
Okay, so we got into the Vikings. Let's get into Basketball Wives is returning. And I do well, first of all, let's talk about the fact that they were under the threat of being canceled.
And even though I will be tuning in, I was hoping that it would have been canceled. I feel like Shawnee and Evelyn need some type of repercussions for the shit that they do. They've been able to kind of coast for so long. It's time for them to, get what's coming to them too. It's not fair the things that they say and do to the women
that sounds
on the show.
familiar. But I can't imagine. I can't picture their faces like to their
Shawnee,
name.
Evelyn, Tammy Roman. Tammy and Evelyn are pretty much the
If I see
most
their
prominent
face,
members.
because Evelyn sounds really familiar.
Evelyn Lozada,
Of course.
the whore. No, I'm sorry. I should stop slut shaming. She's actually not any more of a whore than the average woman is. It's just that her life is under a microscope. As much as I don't like her, I will not sit here and call her
I've been
that.
trying to work on that my damn self.
How long has Basketball Wives been?
Ooh, at least
Like her
11
going
years.
hard.
Right.
Okay.
It's when you don't like somebody, it is hard because Portia is just as sexually liberated as Evelyn.
And
But I would
honestly,
never be like Portia's a
And
whore.
I'm always the friend to be like, do
Okay.
all the whole
Yeah.
shit. Do it. You know what I mean?
And then there
then it's her.
is each season just in the same place? It's the same.
No, so it
they
started in
jump
Miami.
around.
It started in Miami, and now they're in
They
LA.
were filming in New York at one point. They've done LA. They've
But it'd be the
done-
same girl, like in a few new ones
It's
added.
like
So it used to be
Forecast.
two, like you know how Housewives has like Housewives of Potomac, Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah, I remember
At
her.
one point, it used to be that's Jackie crazy ass. I should have said her too.
Yes.
But there was one point where there was Basketball Wives of Miami and then Basketball Wives LA.
Right.
So those are, but then they merged, and so now it's just Basketball
and
Wives
that's when
LA.
they started to jump around all over the place,
Yeah.
wherever they could film all the girls at all at once.
See, for me, I never got into it because it's very similar to a lot of things. But I want to go off on another tangent. But when there's one kind of good thing or thing that's popping, these other kind of many things come out after it, and then things kind of get watered down, or the quality of the different shows aren't as good. Kind of like, Flavor of Love and I Love New York. You got all these dating
Real
shows.
Chance of Love,
they got
Rock of
weaker
Love.
and weaker and
Flavor
weaker.
of Love. They could have kept that shit. They was out of order for that.
And that's how I feel about
I did like Thing 1 and Thing 2. Shouts out to them though. I did like
got
that.
that into right now.
You do. You do have Thing 1 and Thing 2.
I did like y'all on the show.
I did like them as well. But Basketball Wives is coming back. I have mixed feelings about it because last season was very controversial just because of the colorism issues that they expressed, which I think were very real. I would never discredit OG for her experience. She is a dark-skinned Black woman, and she didn't even do as much as Evelyn does, but yet she's so threatening.
That's what I was going to say. It's mind-boggling to me that all she has ever done is use her words, and they feel so threatened by her. But Evelyn has thrown big ass wine bottles, big ass vases with plants in it and shit.
Don't place. Remember when she was trying to get Mika?
Yeah.
I mean, Keisha.
Yeah. She hit Jennifer with the clutch. She's actually physically assaulted almost everybody on the motherfucking cast.
She knew better than to assault Tammy.
Well, she did know better than to do that. She would never do that to Shawnee. But everybody else, she tried to fight Royce in the restaurant. She threw the glass at her. You know what I mean?
The whole not a glass. Let's be clear. She threw a pitcher of water.
She threw a pitcher of water.
A glass pitcher.
Yes.
So
she's constantly physically assaulting people on the show. But OG says something, all of a sudden these bitches is scared. Get the fuck out of here. That's because y'all know she can whoop that ass, and she knows.
Do y'all think that that's a real thing in like outside of Basketball Wives, like in everyday life? Like, do you think that when people see, not y'all, because I know that we try to steer away from stereotypes, but do you think that people do that? Like light-skinned people or white people play into those stereotypes? So he's dark-skinned and he's this and he's that. Where a light-skinned person can do the exact same thing and it's not looked at as aggression.
I think so.
Or even if it is looked at as aggression, I feel like sometimes it's more accepted. Because you know how many times I've been told I'm aggressive, but it hasn't stopped anything for me. When I only date
when you're only being assertive.
If you're attractive.
But
you attractive, you get away with a lot.
That is pretty privilege is the thing too.
Man,
it is. It is being attractive. I think that we all suffer from that. Oh my God.
Definitely, get away with some things.
Yes. You do get away with stuff when you're attractive. And I do think that too, like being attractive and confident. I'm just speaking for myself, just confident in it. And it does help as well.
Conceited.
Well, I would just say my mama fucked up in a lot of areas raising me, but one thing she always told me was that I was handsome. So that is something that you can't take from me.
That's because saying anything less is like calling herself ugly because y'all look like twins.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree.
That is true.
Exactly alike.
I look just like my mama. And me and Alex were talking about this earlier today. She said the only thing I got from my dad is his smile. Like, if you've seen my dad smile, I have to show you a picture.
Yeah, I've never seen a picture of your father.
But there's a picture of us smiling side by side together, and we literally.
We should all bring like pictures of our parents in here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I'm looking forward to seeing Jackie though. As much, let me tell you, I have such a love-hate relationship with Jackie. Like, sometimes she hilarious, and it's just like, ooh, bitch. Okay, yeah. I remember that picture. I'll be like, "Ooh, bitch, like Jackie, you doing too much." And then sometimes she will really have me just laughing from the depths of my soul. So I am actually
Jackie. I have a love-hate relationship with Jackie. It's times where I love her, and it's times when I'm like, "Bitch, shut the fuck up." Because there's
sometimes where she just go too crazy, too below the belt. It's like she don't have no boundaries.
Yeah.
You think we can get that laptop so we can get these comments? I know there's people probably commenting. I don't know if we.
Who else am I looking forward to seeing? Of course, I'm looking forward to seeing OG. If she wasn't coming back, though, I have to be honest, I wouldn't have watched.
Yeah, I wanted Cece to come back.
Yeah, she might, as a friend to OG here and there, but I don't think she signed fully on. I can't
Yeah, I think
remember.
I think I heard that she's not coming back all the way. I do. I actually one of the few people who like Kristen. I
I
like
like
Kristen,
Kristen.
even though like this is the thing. A lot of times with people when you're on these shows, like it's like okay, let's use Kenya and Portia for example, and then we can use this as a segue to get into Housewives. But if you take those two for example, it's a lot of people who think like since you like Portia, you cannot like Kenya. You know what I'm saying? Whereas since Cece and Kristen were on opposite aisles, it's unorthodox or unusual to
Oh, I didn't even think
like
about
them
that when I
both.
said I like both.
Yeah, I like them both too. But I'm
That don't
saying,
have shit to do with
it
the
doesn't. But
other.
people do that. Like
No, they do that, but it
Yeah.
just don't have shit to do with the other. I didn't even,
no, but they are
I didn't think
they're
that. But lots of
related. I mean,
people,
well, they're not related biologically,
Well, I
but
know
through
that.
marriage. Yeah.
I know that, but it's just I don't know. I just don't think like that. I don't. I just
I mean, neither.
everybody is an
Except for when it comes to
individual.
Nikki.
Well,
Fuck him.
I don't
Oh,
know a
Lord.
single woman on the cast.
Well, that's why
but I
we're finna
guess
switch
I will have
gears.
to, maybe one day watch. Episode
Well,
of
it's premiering in
Basketball Wives.
February, friends. So you get your.
February
I
9th.
think it should be canceled at this point. I think it's too watered down. I think it's ran its course.
It has been 11 years.
You know,
It came out in 2010. Do you
Same
think
thing
about
with-
that? Like, we were college students.
Was it before 11 Hip Hop or after?
I think around the same time
They
they
both started
premiered.
around the
Oh,
same
yeah,
time.
like around the same time.
Because they were both back in like 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like Love and Hip Hop still has a bit of relevance because, in my opinion, because it still can produce, whether it be music star or something. I feel like and I don't know too many people that's
They
come
are
off
still
of
producing music stars and stuff and helping people.
No, but
Basketball Wives.
I'm gonna enlighten you. You can't say that because I feel like music is so universal and so put on a pedestal that you're saying, Love and Hip Hop has produced music stars, but it has provided Basketball Wives, that is, has provided avenues for Tammy.
True.
She's been acting and she's an actress, and you might not watch any of the shows that
Yeah,
she's a
it's like-
part of, but she's really on some major networks. And
say Bounce.
on you said
I was gonna
on
say
who?
Bounce or
No.
Bounce.
Don't do my boo. She is in Carl Weber's TV show.
Period.
And Carl Weber is one of my
Love it.
favorite authors.
Family
I love him.
Business, which is a really good show. Shout
here
out
for
to BT.
That show that Holly Berry had. I forget what it's called. It was on primetime TV. It was on. You didn't have to have cable to watch it. It was a Holly Berry show. It was like 3-4 years ago, but Tammy was a reoccurring role.
And
She
to
worked
keep
with Holly
it-
Berry.
To keep it 1,000, even before she was on Basketball Wives, she had been on at least one episode of every black sitcom there was. She was on One-on-One. She was on Girlfriends. She was on
The
Steve Harvey
Parkers.
show. She was on the Parkers.
yeah, I like her.
She was even on Married
Oh,
with
you see it?
Children. So
Yeah, I
y'all
know.
not
I
gonna
know who
do
she is.
my baby like that. Tammy
So who-
got accolades.
So, who was she married to get on?
This was
Basketball
before
Wives?
she married him.
But no, he's asking how
Kenny
does she be a
Anderson.
basketball wife?
Okay.
Yeah, Kenny Anderson, and who I don't even. If it wasn't for Tammy, I wouldn't know who the fuck.
But
that
those are
man
people
is.
I know. It's very interesting how that spectrum. Like I probably know all the husbands on Basketball Wives, and I don't know
Yeah.
their wives.
Yeah.
Um,
The only one I knew was
Shawnee.
And she was the reason I was interested in the show in the first place because I thought Shawnee was so real, down to earth, humble, and I really look for them qualities in like celebrities that I, tend to really go hard
Mhm.
for. As the show went on, I don't agree with my first impression, but
We also have to keep in mind we were like 18, 19 when it
True.
started. So because like how we watch Housewives back and have different opinions, how you have come to your senses with Candy's past
Yes.
actions. Even though Candy this season, and I think this is a good segue,
Let's
so we can get
segue.
into the
because I was
Final
really
part, 'cause we
happy
gotta get
with
to
her.
the
Speak
Sound of
on
Music.
it.
Yes. We got to get into the Sound of Music, and we don't want to take away from the conversation. But we always can make a part 2 if need be. But Candy this season on The Real Housewives of Atlanta is giving me what I need. I never thought I would get to a point where I wouldn't dislike Candy.
This is the Candy that I
Wow.
love.
Yes. So for those that don't know, I've never been a Candy fan.
Really?
Always
Even from
despised
season
her.
1.
Season 1 to last season, I did not like Candy, and the reason why I didn't like Candy, it had a lot to do with her fallout with Phaedra, and I feel like what Phaedra did was so extreme that people weren't looking at the little things Candy did to lead up to what Phaedra did. Candy was the like Brittany's my best friend. She's married. So let's just say that I'm married. And if her husband came to me to hide his assets from his wife in the middle of a divorce, you don't think that I owe it to my friend to say something? Candy didn't say anything. And so to me, you started the
So why did he go
underhanded
to
sneaky
her?
stuff. I don't know.
He didn't
That's
go
a
to
no,
Candy,
he went to
to
her
God.
husband. Yeah.
Okay.
But still,
And then
she
the
had to
husband
find
told-
out about it.
Yeah.
At
Look,
some
I told
point.
Terrell this. I said because we were debating this because he's Team Candy Child.
Oh,
So we were
okay.
debating this, and I said he was like, well, I don't disagree with what Katie did. I was like, well, I hope you know if you, because we used you in Ladarius as as the comparison.
Like the closest couple on the
I'm
block.
like, if Ladarius came to you and said he's trying to hide shit from Jamal, can you do this? That's fine. Y'all relationship, that's y'all. The minute I found out, you think I'm not calling Jamal? Like, you know, Ladarius got some shit in there.
What?
But I'm gonna be like, bitch, you ain't here for
Right.
me, but that shit that
offshore
in the
account.
garage. But what was even crazier about the situation was you didn't tell me, but you told the world.
Yeah.
Oh, Watch What Happens Live. You talking
No,
about
on the show they
Okay.
told the world because they was talking about it.
on camera,
He
right?
was sitting on the bike in the scene. Todd was sitting on the bike when they was talking about the stuff.
Yeah, and then that
Like,
other.
you told the world, but you couldn't call me, bitch. It was gonna air. You knew I was gonna see it. Why wouldn't you
part.
call me?
And that's why I don't be getting why they be trying to hold secrets on these shows. Like, girl, it's gonna air. It's going to air. Like,
Oh, I
girl.
don't remember what I said, bitch. It's gonna air. They're
Might not
gonna
remember
remind
today,
her
but
whole
you
apologize.
don't remember.
And so
Shit.
Candy started it. And she was not there
And
for
Phaedra
Phaedra
finished
during her
it.
divorce. Phaedra just, let me say something. Phaedra may have taken it too far. She may have taken it too far. But she didn't do it just to do it. And that was my point. She didn't do it just to do it. And she was not right. And I'm never going to say somebody accusing somebody falsely of rape is okay.
Hold
But
on.
she didn't just do it just to do it.
This is my issue though with the whole she wasn't there for me during my divorce situation. Phaedra was not being 100% honest with her friend about what she was feeling at the time because she was telling Candy, she's talking to another guy. I wasn't talking to other guys.
Mr.
She wanted to
Chocolate.
make that clear on the
Right.
show. She wasn't talking to other
Other
guys.
guys.
But it was at least a guy that she was conversing with. So Candy took that as bitch, you straight. You talking to somebody, you good.
Mhm.
She should have told her friend, bitch, I'm not as okay as you think. Yeah, he's feeling this void for now, but I still need you.
Yeah.
I disagree.
I don't feel like they ever had that conversation.
I disagree because my thing is that as adults, and they're older than we are, so as adults, most of us have had to support friends through breakups, had to be there, and you can say you are right because you don't feel like being vulnerable or you don't want to discuss it, but a real friend knows when you're truly okay. Like when you're okay. I don't have to. Like with me and you, you'll know even if I say, Brittany, I'm fine. You be like, no, you're not. But I'm gonna leave it alone because you saying you fine. But I'm gonna leave it alone. But I know you're not. You know what I'm saying? So for them to have been friends for so long, and I get that, and that's a personal.
That's one thing
that's
that
a personal
I've had
preference.
to really work on with myself. Because there have been times where I felt like even you haven't necessarily been there for me when I wanted you to, or how I wanted you to be, or whatever the case may be. But that was, I feel, on me because I wasn't vocal. I didn't tell you what I needed. It wasn't that you couldn't or that you wouldn't. It was that I did not tell you. You did not know. So it's not fair for me to be like, you should have known. I don't think that's fair.
No. I want to be clear. I wasn't saying, and I wholeheartedly agree with you. So I feel like we're saying the same things in roundabout ways. But what my thing is that it is.
I feel like they both could have done better communicating at that point. I feel like if they would have done that then, all that spiraling out of control would not have happened because it takes two people to communicate. Not everybody is always that present in their mind like that. Because sometimes I personally am not present like that. I don't always think, let me check on so-and-so. Let me, Sometimes
I mean, even if you do shit, life gets away from you.
You might get caught up cleaning or some shit, forget, get to relax and whatever the fuck. Like sometimes shit does happen and then it keep happening and you just, you know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like at that point it was on both of them. It wasn't neither one or the other.
And I think like everything communication is key. Communication is important in all our type of relationships, or whether it's romantic relationships or platonic friendships and things like that. And I think there in some way does have to be some bit of like grace on both ends, because you said like, because both parties probably handled it the way that but they just handled it the way that they might have known how, or what they saw fit. That doesn't mean she was right or she was right. They just did something, and then now the consequences are happening.
Because they never took that time to talk. Shit kept happening, kept piling on to the point where it got super dirty. But to get back to your point, Noah Phaedra didn't just do the rape allegation out of nowhere or for no reason. There were a lot of hurtful things.
And I want to be clear about that too, because you and I have had this conversation in private, and I'm not sure if this is public knowledge, but Phaedra did not make that up. She did not make that up out of thin air. Carlos King, who used to be a producer of the show, gave Phaedra that information. And since the fourth wall on Housewives is rarely broken, she was not able to express that. I didn't make this up. I heard this rumor. The only lie she told was that she heard it from the source itself.
When she was saying it to Portia.
Yeah, when she said it to Portia. So she did lie about that, but she didn't make that up. So,
but see, that's why I always tell you, when I watch it back, I'd be more mad at Phaedra on behalf of Portia than Kandi, because Portia was just trying to ride for her friend. She didn't care how stupid she looked. She didn't care about none of that. She was just gonna ride for her friend till the wheels motherfucker fell off. And to hear her friend lie to her after all that ride, and it's like, this nigga done got me like that plenty times, but it ain't never been a lie that big. But I've had to tell him, like, nigga, include me in the lie so we can lie together. Like, I don't care about lying, but tell me the lie so we can plan it. You know what I'm saying? Get our story straight. Woo, woo. And she broke code. She
did. Code. She did. And I don't know. I feel like I have some type of empathy for Portia. I mean, for Phaedra. Just due to that fact.
Even though I didn't even really watch
Shady Boots, honey.
I definitely could see myself in Phaedra in a lot of ways. And
child, yes, you are. That
would be me. You are a little shady.
He is. And look, like when I be watching the show back with Terrell, he be like, "Did you catch Jamal? Like what he said?"
That's funny.
You gotta think back. You gotta watch. That's why I watch the show. I watch it live. The viewing it twice, and I listen to the podcast twice.
Well, let's get into this week's actual episode, because I had some shit to say.
Okay, well, I don't have much to say, so you can have the floor.
It comes on tonight, or
it does come on tonight, but last Sunday's episode.
Yes. So, because we don't normally record on Sundays,
right?
So last Sunday was Kandi Cares event, where my baby Portia showed up on time, gave $5,000, and worked her cute ass off, and so did the other ladies. Most of them. I mean, Kenya wasn't on time, and she didn't donate as much as the other ladies, but you know, she had to be bossy and try to take over. And I mean, maybe that's why she didn't donate as much. Maybe she is poor, but you know, she always the main one flapping her gums about charity and let's put up this
$20,000 for the Detroit, the children of Detroit. Yeah.
But then as soon as you get a chance to do something, you're late. You don't donate that much, and then you try to dictate who gonna do what. And then try to say Portia's there for her camera time.
They really do not like
and you're the one with a you're the only one with a t-shirt this low, cut low. But Portia titties is put away. And she here for her camera?
Right.
Put your titties away, bitch. Dude, this is charity. This is groceries.
Dude, the crazy part is you and I had this discussion about how Kenya has had it out for Portia from day one. She didn't like Portia when she met her, and she didn't like Portia when she met her because Portia had everything she wanted.
And
she was married,
even though
she was married. A husband that appeared to love her. She had a stepchild, so she had a child. You know what I'm saying? And she just seemed to have it all. Her husband, you know, she was the apple of his eye, and Kenya just didn't like Portia on GP. Just on GP. Just not to like her.
We ain't gonna mention how Portia's skin better than hers. We ain't even gonna get into the real
oatmeal pie face
aesthetics.
Oatmeal pie face.
It really irritates me because I feel like people just kind of let Kenya still just say whatever to her, But when Candy was upset with Portia about the whole rape allegation thing. They kept saying like, "Oh, you need to get over it, move on. It's been long enough." Da, 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 da. And I feel like Candy had more of a reason to have an issue with Portia than Kenya did. And Candy still has never treated Portia as badly as Kenya has.
Yeah.
And they still just let it just fly.
Yeah,
And I don't get
I don't
that.
think. I think that
I don't
it's
like
been
the
it's been
double
going
standard.
on for so long. I don't think that people are letting it fly. I think people are just like, that's Kenya.
But I'm
Yeah.
over
Like-
it. I'm like,
And it
girl,
does seem
pick
like she's
another
gotten
target.
away with, from what I've seen from the few episodes I watched, that she gets away with
Yeah,
a lot
she
of
get away
stuff
with
from
bloody murder, and I'm sick of it.
reunions to the.
And then
Everything, the-
yeah, and then she got away. Like, this is my thing. When she ruined Cynthia's
Ooh.
engagement, I would never. That man could have came to me and said,
She look
I
like a
plan on.
handful.
What would I
They
look
cool
like
now,
coming
right?
to you saying, I feel like you're gonna get proposed to tonight? Like, and I already know you are. Like, who does that? I would love to see, like, if you're a real friend, either one of you, I would love to see your genuine reaction, like your excitement, like to live in the moment. I would be antsy. I would like, Lyrics, why you tell me this shit?
Okay, I would want to say something.
I
but
would
never
definitely want to,
would.
but I
Like, are you
wouldn't
kidding me?
because I want you to have your moment.
Right.
And to me, that's what a real friend does. And so for
And
her
I'm
to
the type
do
of
that,
friend, like when you have your moment, it's gonna feel like my moment.
exactly,
Anyway, okay.
because I'll be more
Your
excited than you,
happiness is my
especially with
happiness.
this one because
Okay.
he not really like
Like,
he not gonna, he gonna be like, oh my
Right,
god,
all laid back.
Right.
We gonna be sitting there crying and
Right.
shit.
I'll be like,
Right. He gonna be like, okay.
and he gonna be like, oh my god, this is so nice.
Right. You sound just like him.
So,
Oh my
man.
god.
Like, yeah, but no, the crazy thing is like meeting Jamal and learning him. It definitely is a curveball
Yes.
at first because he does express himself differently than what I'm used to. So like, but he will like, I really appreciate, when you came and you gave me,
I'm gonna give you a speech.
yes.
Yes.
But he's just not. He's a very chill person, so he's not gonna give you all of that. But that to tie it back in, Kenyon, like, what type of friend does that to someone? To me, that's just not a friend.
Do you
And-
think she was doing, like, she was trying to be malicious about it or funny? Or
I do.
some
You know
sort
what
of
I honestly think? I think that she is going through a lot in her marriage, this spur of the moment marriage that she jumped into after only a short couple months of dating this man, and it's going to shit. And Misery really does love company, like for real. And honestly, even before she was miserable with him,
She was miserable with Matt.
Yeah, she's been miserable.
Walter.
She was miserable single. Like she's just always.
Kenya is one of them
miserable.
people who I feel like most people. I don't have to have everything going great with me for Brittany to call me or for you to call me and be like, I just got this promotion at work. I just got this new job, for me to be genuinely happy.
Yeah, we got together and drank when you got your license. Like,
Right.
Mhm.
So my thing is, Kenya is one of them people to me who cannot be happy for other people unless she's happy.
Whenever it's Cynthia's moment to shine, she always does something, like her photo shoot that one time when they were in Jamaica and her and Matt
Yeah.
went off into the boat
Yeah.
or whatever because she was mad like that Kim was doing it or whatever. Like, it's a mess. Every time it's Cynthia time to shine, she always do something.
I don't
to
understand
ruin
why
the
Cynthia
moment.
rides so hard for her too. That's another annoying fact, is that
Yeah.
Cynthia is just blinded.
It makes no sense.
Do you feel like she's blind? Do you feel like she's weak? Do you feel like she?
I don't think Cynthia is weak. I
Cynthia
really don't.
isn't weak. She a Pisces, first of all, so she can't be weak.
I
So
don't think she's weak at all. I think that she just don't be wanting to hear King your mouth a lot of the
that
time.
could be a thing.
Yes, I think that's a lot of what like makes her kind of coincide with what she says all the time. But I don't think she's weak. I don't know.
Cynthia is far from weak.
I
Okay.
don't know why she hold on to Kenya. So
I don't know either. It made me feel like
Or maybe
Kenya maybe
now-
got something on her or
maybe,
something.
or maybe she trying
Yeah.
to prove something now that she not friends with
With
Nene
Nene.
no more. Maybe,
But she's always friends with an overbearing person. Like
Child,
who?
She always get at least one friend like that. It's ridiculous.
A friend that she let just
Her
do
sister
whatever.
act like that. Like she always got some type of overbearing personality around her.
Child, fix it.
Always. So
Yeah.
also in the episode was when she called herself asking her mom if she could invite her dad.
Oh yeah. How did you feel about that? So to give a quick backstory and to make sure that Jamal is a part of the
Yes.
conversation, Cynthia did ask her mom if it was okay if she could bring her dad to her wedding. Now, the backstory as to why that's even a request for her to ask for permission is because her dad was physically abusive to her mother. So her mother felt some type of way, although she would not express it in the scene. Noelle, which is Cynthia's daughter, had to speak up and say she's clearly not okay with him coming. I have mixed feelings about that.
I had very mixed feelings also, to be completely honest, because I felt Mike Hill when he was like, "It's our wedding, and if that's what you want,
I
then
did too.
invite him." But then again, I come from a one parent household. My mom is my best friend. She my ride or die. And if I heard some shit like my dad was doing some shit like that, but see, I'm probably not the best to ask because my parents, they broke up when I was like 1 or 2, long time ago. But if I had ever heard that my dad laid hands on my mom, yeah, I don't know, man, because I'm crazy over my mom. I've stabbed a nigga over like attempting to hit my mom before. Like, I don't play about that lady. I just don't. So I don't. Yeah, I probably wouldn't invite him.
Yeah.
But then again, okay, so my sister's dad is more of a father to me than my biological dad. And he didn't necessarily treat my mom the best as her boyfriend. He never hit her, but he was not a good boyfriend. But I still look at him and I'm like, he would still walk me down the aisle. So I don't know. Like, it's kind of, I guess it kind of depends.
It is tricky because
but
like
physical abuse is different.
it is.
Hard to
You
let
know,
this stuff
Curtis
go.
put his hands. Curtis is my sister's
We was
dad.
gonna kill him. I
We
remember.
were like, yes, this is when I was 14 years old. I was an 8th grader, but we ripped up all his clothes when he came to pack up his bags. Honey, he had no bags to pack.
And it was like, and what?
And we sure was. We was, and I swear to God, we were on the bottom of the stairs. He was at the top, and he was like, "Y'all ruined my stuff." Yes, I was so reckless.
14, ready. I saw that. I was like,
yeah, I was like, maybe he's promoting his sister.
Right. I mean, it ain't like we don't buy her products. So.
Right.
We've all
Our
used
last
that
guest
Cash
comer's
App.
candy closet. Yes, go in.
Right. Shit. And you know, speaking of freaky and all that stuff, let's get into this Jasmine album. Let's get into these.
Okay, yes, let's switch gears. So hold on, I took notes.
On page 7.
No, I don't have a binder like Monique. I just
You had
have.
to flap it like that.
Yes, I told you I was saving it for dramatic effects, darling. So, what songs did y'all like?
All of them.
I definitely liked all of them. I listened to the album like probably when I was door dashing a couple times because it's actually an EP, I think. So it's only like 5 or 6 or whatever songs.
It's a lot of intros though.
I love it. I love the little tales, which I think they're called hotels that she has with her friends, the conversations. I think it's super dope. I think it's super current. I think Jasmine's doing exactly what she's supposed to be doing right now. And she's singing. So we know, I think with the album, we know she's gonna be singing, but I think a lot of the approaches and the writing and the things that she was singing about was really good and creative.
So
I love bodies. That's the very first intro.
That is what I wrote. I said bodies. I like the lyrics, but not the beat or the way that she is singing.
I love the way she was singing. I love the whatever she was doing.
I love it. You just hurt my heart with that.
So yeah, that's what I wrote about that because I adored the lyrics. I just couldn't get into the beat, and to me, the album gave me very like neo soul, which to me,
I'm more into that than you are.
Yeah, that's true, and that's what I was saying. Like for me, I like more like straight edge R&B. Like give me like R&B. I'm not really the biggest fan of neo soul.
You hurt my heart, but I get it.
But also, I will say, so at first I thought I didn't like the album. And it's crazy because I didn't realize there's only 7 songs. Mm-hmm. Even though there's 14, like when you look at the track list, it's 14, but it's really only 7 songs. So I ended up liking 4 out of the 7. And I was like, okay, so her album, because I was ready to come on here and be like, her album was trash.
My God. We would have damn near boxed.
But no, I was like, when I really looked at it, I'm like, there's only 7 songs and I like 4 out of 7. So that means that the album was better than average. In my opinion. So
that's good.
But one thing I will say about the album, and another note that I took, is that it seems like, as you can see down here, I have wrote the ages of the other artists that make music like her. Because I was trying to figure out how old Jasmine was in comparison to artists that make music like her. And it seemed like she's trying to keep up with the young girls to me. Like, this doesn't feel like this feel like it could have very easily, her could have sang it. Very easily,
who was on the
Janae
album?
Aiko could have sang it. Very easily, SZA could have. This could have been a SZA album. It didn't feel like a Jasmine Sullivan album. And maybe for me, because I'm not like a diehard fan, I'm used to Lions and Tigers and Bears. I bust the windows out your car. I'm in love with another man,
But
Jasmine Sullivan.
normally when singers first come out, and I'm not sure if this is the case, but I'm just got to play devil's advocate. But normally when singers first come out, they're not allowed to make the kind of music that they want to make. So it's possible that maybe those weren't the real Jasmine and this is.
Yeah.
Or it's possible she grew. I thought about that too. Like maybe she grew, and maybe the influences of today's music has had an effect on her. But it did feel like she was just trying to keep up.
Or, like you and
To me.
we love so many different types of music. Maybe she wanted, like K. Michelle yodeling ass wanting to make her country album. You know what I mean? Like they're they like, don't hold me to this one box. I like to do this. I like to do that.
Yeah.
Like maybe I like to be, I like fucking niggas.
And I think because of the time frame and the climate that we are and things like that being more acceptable for women to potentially talk about, she can sing about that in R&B, which I don't think historically it had to be more discreet when you talked about sex versus like I'm singing about sit on it.
Singing. Female rappers, they have more leeway to be raunchy, but female singers are just now starting to catch that wave, more. R. Kelly clearly been doing it. he been doing that shit.
So if you had to pick one song off the album, what was your favorite?
For me, it's still Girl Like Me. That is, that's the first song I gravitated to on the song. I mean, on the EP.
See, now that one, that's how he feels about bodies is how I feel about that song. I love the lyrics, but I'm not in love with the beat and how.
Terrell said that same thing, but this is the thing. You have to keep listening to it because he was like, as you continue to play it, it grew on me because he started off only liking the words. I'm gonna keep playing, but he was like, as you keep playing it, like it grew on me. So
the words really hit home for me personally.
Yes, and those words are everything to me. And I have definitely been in a space where I feel like it's a play or be played type of situation. Like I have to be this person because if I'm not, then I get my feelings.
Or it's a cycle because as much as I was like, like I feel like other people have turned into that because of me. I was also thinking like I've also probably been in that space earlier in my life to now become that person to
the definition of hurt people. Yeah. I really like The Other Side.
Yeah,
that was my song. The Other Side, Lost Ones, Put It Down, and A Girl Like Me.
You said one song.
Well, those are the ones I like. Those are four. Yeah. So I just ran it down.
I like it all.
Then if that's the case, I like Bodies, Put It Down, and On It for sure.
I didn't like On It. I did not like it.
When I say Doug gonna get a striptease to that quite soon, I'm gonna sit on it. Exactly
I love it. I think
spin on it, like the song says.
Period. My I guess my ultimate takeaway just from the album is I feel like kind of like what I said. Jasmine is in a space where she's doing what she wants to do. I think also kind of how we had off camera conversations. For me, Jasmine, when she came out, because she's been out for more than 10 years, potentially was ahead of her time. And now, with everything being more acceptable, with her being plus size, with her being dark skinned, with her being able to sing, the things that she does, she can really flourish in this time, especially in times of YouTube and doing virtual concerts. And the way that she wasn't able to be promoted back then because she wasn't being featured on all these live shows or AOL Live or whatever used to come on people used to perform live on 106 in Park or the morning shows. You didn't see her a lot of those things, despite her being able to sing the way she did. So I think she's doing exactly what she needs to do right now.
Yeah, she restored my faith in R&B because I'm telling you, lately, last couple years, it's been all female rap for me. Like a couple weeks ago, my sister and my cousin were over. I was doing their hair and makeup for New Year's and stuff. And I was playing my playlist and they was like, damn, why they so angry? And I'm like, they sound angry to you? I just feel like I'm talking
Yeah.
shit. So I was like, oh, people not used to that from me because I've always been R&B all day, every day, or neo soul, one or the other, but never even like
I
rap.
think that's true
Period.
for
Let alone
both of
female
us
rap.
because I don't know what it is about female rap in the last 2 to 3 years, but that's definitely been my main staple of
Yeah.
music. Like, I don't know why. Like, I even like when K Michelle released her album last year, it took me like 2 weeks to listen to it because I was still on Megan, and then Megan released BITCA around the same time, so I was just
Yes.
playing that heavy.
Mhm.
I
Yes.
don't know, but female rap definitely has had dominance over my music selection playlist.
I'm telling you, I wake up, I get up early to take Doug to work 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I be blasting my rap music early in the morning. Like, listen, I gotta make sure I stay awake
Yep.
while I'm driving, okay?
Yep.
Definitely. Before we get off Jasmine's album and get into the actual meat of the episode, I do want to talk about Donna's Tale because that was something that we actually talked about on the show before. Because Donna's Tale was about um, everybody has hold before. It's like even if you're married and you want something out of this nigga,
Oh yeah.
so you're
They
fucking
talked about
yeah.
that.
They talked about that during Donna's Tale, and when I enjoyed I enjoyed all the tales. I enjoyed the tales more than the music, god damn near. But Donna's Tale just struck a chord with me because that is very true, and like people looking at prostitution as such in a negative light. To me, it's like we all have been there. We all have had sex because we wanted something out of it. Just because it wasn't money or a transactional experience does not mean that it's not prostitution. When you look at the word,
good, and I be like, oh, you must want some head, like,
Right. Like I'm just cleaning.
nigga, my kitchen clean. Nigga, let me stop on your knob, like.
no, that's very true.
Like that. Absolutely.
That's very true. We all have had, like I said, it could. I don't care if it's for a ride around the corner, if it's for a pack of a bag of Cheetos. You
I ain't
have,
no cheapo.
no,
I wish I did more of that.
nah. Look, now I never did it. I'm just saying, that even if that's what you've done, that is a form of prostitution when you look at the basic definition of it, having sex for something,
some type of monetary something.
Yes, and when you think about it, everything is monetary,
Whether
child.
it's food or ride.
Right. It's all monetary, or you getting something out of it. So that Donna's Tale really stuck with me, and for copyright reasons, I will not play Donna's Tale, but I like Donna's Tale. And the first 2 letters of her name are amazing.
Period. Yeah. And sales.
So y'all ready to get into the meat and
Yes.
potatoes, chat?
Yes. The good stuff, the serious stuff,
It's crazy because how do you start a conversation like this off? Like, who wants to talk about trauma
sexual
first?
trauma and everything that falls under it.
I don't know how you start this conversation. I feel like it's not. First of all, it needs to be a conversation. Let's start there.
Yeah, because I think everybody has, like, there's this big umbrella and there's so many different things under, whether, it's the trauma of being sexually assaulted or the trauma of seeing something traumatic involving sex, taking advantage of somebody, sexually or age, all types of things, abuse of power, when it comes to sex. So there's so many different things.
Well,
so
I guess
with personal experiences first.
I'll start with my experience, and like it just clicked to me a few weeks ago why in my mind. So I haven't talked to my therapist about it yet, so I don't know what she's gonna help me unravel, but definitely realizing why I like it so much. And I feel like I've been getting head since I was 13 years old. So for me, it's been very normalized. But the men that were performing the acts should not have been. And I used to lie and say, I always used to lie and say I was a year older than I was. So if I was 13, I would say I was 14. If I was 14, I'd say I was 15. But I don't know, like when I finally said that out loud, I realized like these men, they took advantage of me. I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? But in a sick I don't want to use the word sick, but in a twisted way, I guess I should say, it played a part in me like over like indulging in head. Like I literally could get my dick sucked every day. So, but that's all these men would do was do that. But it is, I don't know. I don't think I ever realized until like recently how that made me feel. I never really thought about it. Like these men are grown. Like you're 28, 30, 35, 40 years old, and I'm 13, and you know so much, but yet you're here with me. Sucking. I don't know. It's
Right,
just I
right.
just thought about it one day. Like
Oh,
that's not normal.
That's
yeah, it's not
weird.
normal.
Yeah, for them.
Yeah. And then in those situations when you are like young and vulnerable and impressionable, which, none of it's your fault. Um, but you just start to associate that with like those people and it becomes normalized and it becomes something like, well, this is supposed to happen. And clearly they're the ones like taking advantage and doing something that they're not supposed to.
I think because when I became positive, my mom was like, you have to take a level of responsibility. You knew what was out here, and I think that that's how she raised me. Like, as I've always blamed me for what happened to me. Like, well, I was 13. I knew what I was doing, so I can't say this man is a predator because I let him in. It wasn't
Mhm.
involuntary.
I've heard people say that a lot in terms of like predators, because that's basically what they are,
Yeah,
and what they do. Well, I know 13, 14-year-olds that go out there looking for older guys and da da da. At the end of the day, they are still
Yeah,
kids.
they are. And,
They
at,
don't
and
know
at the
no
end of the day, of
better.
course, because you're hitting puberty, but at the same time, it is up to an adult to be
Right. To have that
responsible enough to be like,
self-control.
absolutely not. I don't
You've
care what you
already been
want.
through, that stage in your life. You know what this little kid is going through. Don't
Hmm.
take advantage of them.
Yeah.
and it's
Period.
it's it's interesting how that journey. Like, I never looked at myself as a victim of. You know what I'm saying? Because going through that, and of course, I never told anybody. I never spoke on it, so I had sense enough to know that it wasn't right. So I
Right.
never, I really haven't spoken on it. Like, y'all, the second people. I told Alex earlier today because I was expressing to her what the topic was, but y'all are the second people that I've even said that out loud to because I'm like, I always, because when you're gay, people always ask you like, "Have you been molested? Is that why you're gay?" Da, da, da. And I hate that
Because that's the
question.
only reason you can be
Yeah.
gay.
And they'll latch onto that and it'd be hard.
Yeah, so I always just said no, but in the back of my mind, not only did I go through that, but I went through some things with family members as well that have touched on me that I've never said anything about, partly due to the fact that they were the same age as me or around the same age as me. So they didn't know what they were doing either. They probably seen something or saw something and were reenacting what they seen or saw, but it all did contribute to like me now at 30 years old as I enter this new chapter of the next 10 years of my life. It's like that really did happen, and like you really have to acknowledge it and you really have to like deal with it. It's just interesting. I don't know. It's deep.
Deep, deep, deep. Oh, y'all waiting on my story, huh?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I
I
stepped
guess
on
I
you.
will tell, because unfortunately I have many. But I wanted to speak on the one that came up during our Christmas
Wait, hold on.
party.
Before you go, I'm. This is a little jokey joke, but
Mm.
we gonna try to keep it cute because we have a photo shoot after this, so we don't need no makeup being
I was
ruined.
gonna try so hard not to, man. That's why I'm like,
We
I ain't even
don't
gonna
need.
tell none of the other stories. I'm gonna stick to the
Like I said,
one.
we're gonna have to do a part two of this because I feel like it is a lot to unpack in one episode in 45 minutes or less now that we have. So
Yes.
take 30 minutes now. So
Yes.
it is a lot to unpack, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that was good. So, I the reason why I wanted to talk about the story from the Christmas party is because I was so shocked that I just blurted that out. I was clearly drunk out of my mind, but I was so shocked that I blurted that out because I had never told nobody. Not my sisters, not my mama, not you, nobody. That was one specific incident that I had really tried to push out of my mind because it was the one and only incident where an actual family member tried to do something. And it really, I don't even think at the time of everything going on, I don't think I fully understood until getting older and allowing myself to revisit that the magnitude of what happened that day. But I was with my cousins. It was a bunch of us all together. We were we fell asleep in the living room together like most cousins do. And one of my guy cousins that always looked out for me, always had my back, my protector, big brother type of thing, pulls his dick out of nowhere. And I can't remember if he was trying to get me to suck it, sit on it, or what. All I know is I bust out crying immediately.
How old were you?
I was like 7, 8. I was really young. I don't even think I was in double digits yet. All I know is I started crying ASAP. Like, no, I don't want to do that. No, that's nasty. Leave me alone. I just want to go to sleep. Everybody sleep. I just want to go sleep with everybody else. Leave me alone.
Is he much older than you?
He isn't necessarily much older than me, but he's definitely older. And we just never, he ended up putting his dick away and leaving me alone or whatever. But I never told my family nothing because I just wanted to forget. Years later, something happened to my sister. She ended up telling the family, and majority of everybody was against her except for me. It wasn't the same cousin that did something to me, but still, obviously, there's some type of pattern going on in this family that this is happening. And when one of us speaks out, everybody like was against her. It was crazy.
Or doesn't want it to be known, or like what happens here.
Right. Or you a liar, you fast, blah, blah, blah.
Why do black communities do that? Blame the victim. I don't even want to say black people, because that happens just in general.
In general, yeah.
Of victim shaming and victim blaming. You are not responsible for the things that happen to you that you didn't ask for. And even if you ask for it, quote unquote, because some people will say, well, girl, your skirt is yay high or yay low. And you walking around, you asked for that man to rape you. And to me, that's her body.
Well, I didn't ask for this man to be
I
a
should
sexual
wear what I
predator.
want without somebody feeling like it's their right to put their damn hands on me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Period.
Yeah, and I think even to other things around trauma and experiences, specifically similar to yours, Brittany, I think, when those situations like that happen, or people who we, look up to, or, have some sort of mentor type of relationship, when those things happen, then I think it kind of attributes to later on in life, or when someone is generally being nice to you or things like that, you think there has to be something associated with it, or so so you're just being nice to me. Do you want something out of this? And I definitely see that a lot, specifically in our community with, older, gay men and things like that. And where there's been a lot of stories of older gay men being predators and taking advantage of younger people in the community, or pretending to be a mother or father figure and all that. But really it's a hidden motive.
I have actually a story about that I think I may have told only Alex. I know that I haven't repeated it often. And when I do repeat it, I don't tell the story. I just say oh, I was Ruthied, as if in a casual way. I think for me, a lot of times I make jokes out of the things that I've been through to kind of alleviate from, the seriousness of it. But there was a time where I went to, I'll never forget the date because it was Kimsey's birthday. So I went to La Cage, March 23rd, 2015. It was right after my birthday. My birthday's March 14th. So it's right after my birthday. And they had said, if you have a birthday, you got a birthday in the building, come up and get you a shot. So I go up to get me a shot. It wasn't my birthday. I just wanted a shot. I'm like, March is my birthday. So as long as you say it. Right. So I go up there. That puts me under the microscope of this man who was attracted to me. So he saw me because I went on stage and took the shot on stage. He found me after I took the shot and was like, can I buy you a drink since it's your birthday? It's a happy birthday. And I was like, oh, no, my birthday was the 14th, because I'm always going to say when my birthday is. So I'm like, no, my birthday is the 14th, but I'm still celebrating. But yes, you can buy me a drink. This is when I learned, when my mom told me about always going with someone to make sure that, you get your drink directly from the bartender. is a real thing. So he brings me. I'm sitting down talking. You remember my friend Tony, my Mexican friend?
Yes.
Yes, I was with Tony. So me and Tony sitting there, and this is the part of the story where I always lie because I always say Tony saved me. Tony let me go with that man, but I, that's another story. So because I was too embarrassed to tell the part of the story that really happened. So long story short, I get my drink from him. And back then, I feel like I'm much more known in the gay community now. But even back then, I knew a lot of people, so I was bumping into people. I'm like, "Oh, hey, I like your orange shirt," and my friend like, "Orange? This shirt is purple." But okay, thank you. Like I was just saying a lot of shit that didn't make sense, and they were like, they all equated to like, okay, Donnie's drunk. I never seen him like this type of drunk, but clearly something's. I don't know. Maybe he tried some coke tonight. Like, right. What's the tea? So I end up leaving, and I don't remember leaving. And I woke up the next day naked in this man's bed. And when I say this is no shade, this is not me being vain. This was the most unattractive person that you ever run across. He was very, 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 very unattractive.
So there's a impromptu photo,
right?
If you're wondering or listening,
so he started taking pictures, so I had to
right. Being the vain individual that you are.
Sorry, just wanted to get my pictures in. No matter how serious the topic, child, we could have been talking about mama's dying. I would be like, "Oh, camera."
Okay. And he said, "We all parked that way."
Right. But no, so I woke up naked in his bed, and that literally was the most unattractive person that you could pick out of the club. Probably, I feel like as unattractive as he was, and
that's probably why he does that. Not to excuse it, but
yeah,
I guess
that probably is why he does it. But I mean, when you that ugly, all you need is a dick. Like you could get another ugly motherfucker. Why you gotta drug me? So I was scared out of my mind, and when I woke up, and thank God, like. First of all, I didn't grow up without any street smarts. I'm from a certain hood, so I like my street smarts kicked in on how to get out of there without making a scene. Like, oh my God, let me! I knew that wasn't gonna work in my favor, So I played it off. Literally, this man. Now, the sick part on my behalf was that I told him I wanted some Olive Garden. That was supposed to be my exit, but then I really wanted the Olive Garden.
Well, damn.
So I let him come back. I'm like, I'm gonna eat it with him. Shit, I want.
Right? Yeah. You don't know if he's insane. Like he could have killed. So I'm a. You know how they do in the movies? Like you play like you like the killer. Or and like all this stuff.
No, how I ended up getting out of there though. I was like, my mom is gonna be looking for because my phone ended up dying. So
yeah.
It's like my mom is gonna be looking for me soon, and if she doesn't find me, she's gonna worry. And I was like, because I was working at Manpower at the time, so this happened on a Saturday night going into Sunday, and I'm like, I have to work tomorrow, so like people are gonna start looking for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And at the time, I hate that I used to get on my mom like, stop asking me where I'm at. I'm grown. Da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? So she wouldn't even worry. She like, Akeem just not here. He'll be here when he get here. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's good to have mothers like that in you. Why you shouldn't, like, as much as it seems like they're trying to control your life, when it comes to your safety, they come in handy.
I always tell Crystal where I'm at.
Yeah, I just, how my mom was though. She make it difficult.
I can truly say I was just telling my mom that the other day that I appreciate her for not being so. Once I started to get older, at least she wasn't so like hands on. Like she really let me have freedom. Like I could simply just tell her I'm going to Akeem house or wherever the hell I was going, and she was like, "Fine, just be back by midnight or whatever the fuck." Like she just wanted to know. She didn't give a fuck where I was going, what I was doing. Really, just she wanted to know where I was and that I was good, and that I would be home by a certain time. But
yeah. So I was gonna ask you, like, since that moment happened, did you ever see that person again in the community?
Question.
Oh my God, yes. And the crazy part is, I started to date someone maybe a year and a half after the person I accused of rape when I got high.
Mhm.
And that's why I was so fresh on my mind. That's why I probably overreacted because that was his uncle. And I'm like, dude, this shit run in the family. So like
Yeah.
when I thought he was trying to like take advantage of me, like that moment with his uncle, knowing that that was your uncle, and it happened the night I found out that was his uncle. I went to his family reunion with him, and I saw him, and
Are
like
y'all really that close?
we dated off and on for like a year. We did. We did. You know, remember him?
Yeah, but I don't know if I would have taken you to my
No, like
family
I feel like
reunion.
I don't think me and you were talking as much around the time because definitely Alex and Marlena met him. Like we went to the movies together, everything. Like he was.
I just remember when he met me, he bought plenty drinks.
Oh yeah, for Denzel's birthday.
And he was-
Shout out to Denzel. It's his birthday
and
today. So shout out to
Fuck
Denzel.
his
birthday.
birthday. I don't give
Oh.
a fuck about his birthday. And
I was
fuck
trying to be
him.
politically correct.
That's so nice, but fuck you. And
You heard
moving
it live
along.
from the source. Fuck you, Denzel.
I sure saw that in my Facebook memories today. I was like, fuck that bitch birthday. I really thought that was my friend. Fuck him.
I was expressing that earlier today too. Like I really thought we were friends. It's just hurtful to get dropped and don't know why. Like we never had. Well, that's a whole nother story.
That's a whole
Such
nother
a-
trauma
you
right
know?
there. We gonna
Yeah.
talk about friend trauma another day.
You know, like what Medea said, you know, some people are like, you know, branches, you think they're there, and then when you get too close to the end, they snap off. And
But this is my thing when it comes to him. I would have liked to know if I did do anything or what I did for we were so close and you just cut me off. And I did text him today and wished him a happy birthday.
That's
and
so nice.
his response was so dry, child.
Because you shouldn't have sent him
I cut
shit.
off a friend before.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And he did heart the message, but
You
still.
shouldn't have sent his ass.
And we haven't talked since
nothing.
February 15th of last year.
I'll send him a finger.
I've cut off a friend kind of like that before too, and I don't know if they were just naive enough to not know, but they just were not a good person in my life. And then it was kind of like three strikes. So like they did something once to cross me. I confronted him about it. Second time I confronted him. Third time something else happened. I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna
done.
talk to you.
I'm not gonna teach
Yeah,
you
but
grown
we
motherfucker how to treat me.
didn't
But I'm
have.
sure it
I
wasn't
understand
like
that.
that.
Like we didn't have anything. Like we have never. Me and Denzel. The only time we even had a disagreement, and Denzel, I dare you to say I'm lying, because then it's gonna be
If you're seeing this
issue.
live now,
was him not paying me back what I gave.
I was
I have
just about to
spent
say,
so much money on him.
Once he
So
felt like
much.
he didn't need to
Quote,
borrow
unquote,
money from
need.
me, he didn't need weed or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck he was coming to get at the time. Now all of a sudden it's fuck me. But when you needed to borrow some money to get your car out the tow lot and some other shit,
Right,
or
when
if
we
you
helped
wanted to
you
smoke
out.
or something, you knew who the fuck to call though.
Right.
And as soon as you was good, like, and it's not like I even wanted the shit in return. I'm cool with watching you shine and you enjoying your own shit. But damn, you ain't gonna pay the people back that had your back. You ain't gonna at least say thank you.
You don't even have to pay me back monetarily. You could pay me back with your time and
with
appreciation.
appreciation, right?
So you don't have to give me exactly what I gave you back.
And he
Yeah.
tried to.
Although if
straight
we're looking
play
at
me.
that, you're looking at a little bit over $1,000 since I didn't
He
calculated it up
tried
at
to
this point.
straight play me like I ain't never did a damn thing
I'm just
for his
saying.
ass. He
I'm
literally
getting
said that
irritated,
in the
child.
text
who
message
is
that
this
I didn't do shit.
person? Who is this?
I'm getting
person?
irritated,
Fuck
especially
him.
because I stepped outside. I stepped outside of my character to even wish him a happy birthday today. And
So
You
what's your
sure
character?
did. That was so big for you.
no,
No, 'cause
because
when we
when
cut
I say
somebody
fuck you,
off-
I mean
What's your
fuck you.
character?
No,
Like,
that is
chill
my
out.
character. Fuck you.
Cause you heard me say it. I'm his best friend for a fucking
Oh,
reason.
my.
I was the real him coming out. Fuck you. I'm the real him coming
Right.
out. I'm saying it enough for both of us. God damn it. They called us the twins in high school. The twins said fuck you. That's how we feel.
But I be trying to evolve and to be a bigger, better person. That's why I said shout out to him. And you know, some people will call that fake. Call it what you want to call it, child. But
I don't call it fake. I call it cordial. There's nothing wrong with being. It's not like y'all gonna be kicking it and this, that, and the third. There's nothing wrong with being cordial unless they dried like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Be cordial back, motherfucker, because I ain't have to do this shit.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody that I wasn't fucking with and I don't know why our friendship ended or whatever, they send me a text message that said, hey, I just want to wish you a happy birthday. I know today is I even said I know today is your golden birthday, you know, enjoy your day. I would have like, thank you so much for thinking of me, on my birthday. I appreciate it. And I hope you have a good day as well. That's just me, just being cordial. To
That's
just be
nice.
like, thanks, I appreciate it.
Exactly.
That's dry as hell.
That's exactly my point.
After that long message.
Yeah.
Like,
That's exactly
Were you
my
hoping it
point.
would be a little bit more?
yeah, I was hopeful because I'm like, we haven't spoken in almost a year. So I was hoping that it would be, I'm like, whatever the reason that you were upset with me that I don't know about, hopefully now
That
it's
could be the
resolved.
I
And
feel like he didn't really drop you completely until after I cussed him out.
I
I
mean, that
feel
may have
like
something to do
after I
with
cussed him, after I let that
That
ass have it,
was
boy,
it.
he started to back the.
no, when they got
I
into it, because it
mean-
was via text message and it was in the group chat. So I got calls from Alex and Marlena like, are they serious or are they playing? Like,
They definitely was because they've never ever seen. I've known Alex since the 4th grade, and I've known Marlena since freshman year of high school, and they've both seen me pretty turned up, but never quite like that. I was really emotional, and I had been holding a lot of how had been feeling in for a long time.
Yeah.
Akeem knew, but Denzel didn't know.
Oh,
so
I knew.
it
because
just
her and
all
I have gotten
unloaded.
into it
Like, this is the
before.
moment.
So I know when she's serious because we've gotten into it.
Mhm.
So I'm like, oh, she's not playing with him.
No. When I start, if I call you out of your name, I'm definitely dead ass serious because I hold my friends to a higher standard. I don't call you bitches
Right.
and
Now look,
all this,
bitch.
that, right, sluts
Look,
and all that
motherfucker.
shit. I don't do all that. So if I'm sitting there
think with
calling you
all of us-
motherfucker and shit, like nigga, I'm mad.
I think that's a thing with all of us, like in the close circle, is like, because I'm not gonna be like, if I be like, Jamal, you got me fucked up, you got me motherfucker fucked up. I don't know who the fuck you think you. Then you already know I'm serious, like, because I don't even say like, because if I'm just joking, I'll be like, I might still say you got me fucked up, but I'm not
The tone
gonna.
will be different.
The tone will be right, be completely different.
And I might use a little bit more profanity when I'm serious.
Right.
Yeah.
So
'Cause, ooh,
that's definitely a thing.
the text messages was lit. I forgot I had it in me.
Weird. Did you save them?
I think they was in his phone.
Yeah, but
I definitely
I
did.
switched phones since then, so
Oh,
I don't
of
have
course.
them anymore.
Of course.
It's how you look at it. I ain't switched phone numbers since then.
Right.
I didn't held on to this one. Jamal don't know this because Jamal has been my friend for like a year and a half, going on 2 years now. So yeah, that's
I
crazy.
feel like you've
But
been
it's-
around longer.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
That
It's
effect.
crazy though because it do feel longer, and I'm
It
like,
feels
time
way
be
longer.
flying. Like 2019 to say that's almost a year and a half ago is crazy because
And you met Bertho around the same time.
yeah, they both
Mhm.
my friend. Like,
Same-
actually, the
same
crazy part
year.
is it's funny because you know how you wasn't there, but Berta was like, "I'm sorry, friend, but Jamal is my favorite," and I'm like, "Okay, that's fine."
Out of the three of us on the show,
no, out of like
the
I
friend
guess
group.
me and Jamal.
Oh,
So
okay.
he said Jamal is his favorite.
I just need clarification because I need to know if I had to beat me up a Puerto Rican.
No, but I was like, that's fine because Jamal is my favorite too. But I was like, I always would tell everybody like everybody loves Jamal.
See, it depends on what specifically we talking about as to who will be my favorite.
Don't get me wrong, Berto is definitely more
Outgoing.
No. I feel like Berto, if I'm gonna have a real laugh, like not just a giggle. Like Berto cracks me up. Berto
Listen,
cracks me up.
that day on the boat, when as soon as we got on the boat, he was snapping on somebody.
Yes.
I was like, "Oh, this is why he our friend, huh?"
Yeah.
Like
He was late. And I forgot somebody made him.
He
laugh.
almost didn't make it.
they pissed him
No,
the fuck off.
Berto gives me like some of the best laughs. But
Yes,
like when
I agree.
I talk to Jamal more on a regular basis, like me and Berto are
I
still
feel
friends
like
and we close.
Jamal's
But
my counselor.
I
I feel like when I need some relationship advice, he gonna be first motherfucker I call. Like, listen,
Like, hey, step in. Come on.
talk to
Have
me.
a seat. So what's going on?
because
today?
Jamal is so calm, he's so opposite
He's
of
very
everybody
calm
around
and
him.
soothing.
Yes. And it's rational because I know that when I get upset, I could be irrational.
Yes.
So it's rational advice.
Same.
It's
you know
like,
how we are.
yeah, exactly. We get upset and then it take a lot to calm us, to bring us back to being in a.
Well, that's why I
good space.
typically call you honestly when I'm upset, because you normally will make me laugh or something, or get my mind off topic some kind of way so that I calm the hell down. And even I think it was either this past week or the week before, you had sent me something randomly funny and I was having a bad day. And I'm like, that damn Akeem always be right on time with making me laugh whenever I'm
You know what's
upset.
funny about you saying that is that I got a Facebook memory about something similar to that. It was in December about you saying like my brother he pops up even when he don't know I need him. It's like that I need to pick me up because I had sent you something that day and you was just like, oh my God, it was so like it was funny and it lifted your spirits. And it's just crazy because I don't even be thinking. I just sent it to you like
this shit was funny.
Brittany will enjoy this.
But I hollered.
I do before we go back to sexual trauma for our last 15 minutes. I do want to touch on Denzel and friendships like that. I think that one thing he did teach me is that everybody in your life is not supposed to be a part of your life for a long period of time. And although, like, the crazy part is like meeting Jamal and Berto and even David and May, even though they've been around a little longer, like 3 years, whatever the case. I do feel like when I pick friends, I'm usually pretty good judge of character.
I actually just said the other day that you pick better friends than you do spouses. And I love you, but that's 100. Like, you have brought some amazing people into my life. I really, like I said at the Christmas party, I truly feel like the people that was at that party, we all gonna be friends until we old and gray. I really do believe that.
At the Christmas party,
50
years.
I really believe that. Like, I'm gonna be there like dentures in the motherfucking cup, gnawing on something we done cooked. Like,
you got the applesauce.
Not you got the applesauce. But even with David, shout out to David. Me and David argue like cats and dogs, but that's still my friend. Even though sometimes I want to cuss him, and I know he be wanting to curse me out too.
Thursday.
Yeah, I talked to David today. Yeah,
he called like 3 times. Remember, he called like 3 times.
Oh, did he?
He don't play like when he always called in multiples.
I know he told me he wasn't outside. He said he was drunk. He was trying to leave the bar.
Oh,
so David didn't even make it.
He didn't make
Friday night. No.
So the get together Friday was to celebrate David. Since we're talking about friends, we're celebrating him going back to school, and he didn't even make it.
So we were celebrating his LLC.
His LLC.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know if you, but I called you. I called man.
You told
David.
Me
I called you first, but since you didn't answer, I was like, well, let me try every other person that's supposed to be there.
After calling him.
Yeah, Brittany ended up not. First of all, I want to tell you, Terrell was mad at you.
He was mad.
Yes, he was like, I wanted to talk to Brittany. He's like, he even brought extra blunt wraps. Because he was like, I know Brittany gonna want to smoke.
And I had already had it pre-rolled. Actually, I had 3 fat ass blunts.
Child, he was looking forward to him some Brittany, child.
Ooh, I was so tired.
I heard it in your voice. I'm like, she's not coming.
Because you know what?
The phone.
When y'all called me and said y'all was here, I should have left the house.
Yeah.
And just went straight to Donnie's house then. But I laid down. I took my wig off. I think I took my bra off. Like, it was a wrap. Like, listen, right. Really the wig, like that wig come off, child. It's like,
Wait, before we go, so I feel like, do you have anything you want to share? We didn't give you the opportunity.
I was gonna go into that, and what I was gonna share is I feel like it was very interesting hearing all that because I really have not had any traumatic.
I was hoping you would say that
sexual, and I'm fortunate enough to
one
do
of
that.
us need that experience
because even though our experiences make us who we are, but at the same time, who wants to like also experience those things? Right. And if we didn't have to, I'm sure we wouldn't. So yeah, I don't have anything. I've just have friends and stories and things like that, and have just kind of I guess lived and learned through other people's experiences. When I hear things like that, and it helps me, even though I can never truly like speak on something I've never been through or give advice on something I haven't been through, but it is therapeutic in a way and helping other people potentially get through
very
things.
Cathartic, child.
Because I haven't, and I have not. I have not.
I would consider yourself fortunate because unfortunately, most people I know, gay, straight, or in between, like I know a lot of women who have been rape victims. I know a lot of women who have been victims of sexual assault, whether that even means penetration or not. I know a lot of gay men who have been through some of the same things. I know a lot of gay men who were touched as they were, young. So
and
to
a lot
be
of
able to
times
say that you never went through it,
it's a blessing. And a lot of times in those situations, it is close family or friends, or those family friends or people always over. And, fortunately, I guess it just, never happened because obviously I didn't have a perfect, childhood or perfect situation or squeaky clean home. So there, if there were people around like that, it potentially could have, but I guess, fortunately it never happened in Indiana, never happened in Milwaukee.
I always forget. You from Gary, Indiana.
Oh, I'm from Chicago.
That's lovely. But Gary, Indiana, that's the real. Ever since I seen Original Gangsters, fam, I just
Gary. That's the trap.
Yeah.
It's time for Gary.
Ooh, Gary
and company.
What? Shout out to the Parker.
Yeah.
That's where Tierra was from Bad Girls Club. T Dollar from the G. When she was saying she was from the G, she was talking about Gary, Indiana.
I know that.
G.
T Dollar from the G.
And she fought like it.
She fought like T Dollar from the G. Okay.
Don't let the long weave and the nails fool you, because baby had hands. Like, for real.
And she was the most likable person on her season.
Because she was hilarious. And she was, honestly, out of everybody, she was probably the realest.
No, I agree, and I know a lot of people will say
back.
Nastasia was probably the realest, but
Nah.
My thing is that Stassi had a couple fake moments, but she's a human, so I'm not going to hold her feet to the fire for having fake moments. I feel like humans have fake moments, period.
Yeah,
to me, what defines a person as being fake is a person who pretends to like you, who doesn't. Like, because we all have said stuff behind someone's back that even if you say what you said behind their back, you deliver it different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like that can be considered quote unquote fake. To me, that's not fake. To me, that's just human. Right.
Yeah.
But what I don't do, if I don't like you, you will know.
Yeah.
That's period. I'm not pretending to like people I don't like.
Ooh, child. Like,
and we all have different strategy too. So if I don't like someone, I'll
one
just
time
be
we
away
saw
from
his
them.
ex at Lacage. And he thought because they had made up. He thought because they had made up that we was gonna be cool. Nah. Because you offended me separately from him. Like, I have separate feelings and emotions. So he tried to go for a hug. I was like, no, you can get a handshake. I'll do that. That's why I'm gonna get.
When I was dating Quentin, I remember there's this dude. Actually, Bernard. It was Bernard. It was Bernard. They told me I was so mean to him because he tried to reach out for a handshake, and I was like,
well, you were you were mean to my friend Kirsten when you first met her. You would not pronounce that girl name right.
I don't know what be going on.
You used to be evil.
Being so mean sometimes.
Used to be so evil.
Catch me on a right day.
I don't, and they like each other now. Neither one of them even remember that encounter. But I always be like, because they damn near fought walking in the note. Like,
I was just telling Jamal, like, usually when I have a disagreement or I don't like somebody, it always ends up being okay. So I am the type of person who is, I don't hold grudges. I can't.
It wasn't no grudge to hold. You started it. You hold a grudge with yourself.
But no, I'm just saying in general, when I get into it with people, regardless of who is the culprit of the disagreement, I usually am able to, even if it's not a conversation about it being resolved, I just move on.
Yeah, just be over it.
Yeah. I'm not gonna walk around hating you.
It's a lot of work to be mad at somebody. It takes
way
more effort
like
to be mad at
the manager that I fought, she and I squashed everything. We actually friends on Facebook now.
Yeah, see, I'm friends with Anthony.
We never had
after he beat me up.
Conversation or anything.
Like, you know what, you won that, and
no, I lost 2 fights in life. Anthony and Scotty beat my ass. Not the Scotty I dated. It's a different dude named Scotty. I was drunk.
If we could say Anthony beat your ass, though. In my personal opinion, as the one watching y'all on the side, y'all both lost pathetically. Right. Because I expected a lot more from the both of y'all.
Was y'all drunk and falling over?
No. So this was
kids.
Yeah, we were kids.
We had just left school.
This is my first real fight outside of like cousins.
This one I knew my brother was gonna lose. He hadn't even started fighting yet. We was walking to the bus stop, and he was like, "I gotta listen to some music to get me in my mode." I was like, "What? What?" And he literally danced his ass the whole way to the bus stop. I'm like, "Oh, this nigga finna lose, bro." Because I had been in plenty fights at this point because they couldn't stand me on 33rd Street. I got my ass rag tagged plenty times. So I'm like, I ain't never had to dance before getting my ass whooped. What the fuck? Like, I was really confused by that.
The funny part is, this is the crazy and the funny part. It's like when y'all taught me how to dance, like overnight, like
yes, it took maybe that one fight, and then after that, I don't know if it was all the jokes after or what, but he was like, "I'm not losing more."
I was adamant. Oh, I'm not losing shit else because mind you, I fought him in October of freshman year, so you have to understand, school started as a freshman in August. So I'm known as the boy who got beat up on the bus stop.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They looking at me and shit. Rennie, you should go save your brother. That nigga gotta learn, fam.
Right. You gotta learn.
He gotta learn.
But what I will say is, just like everything else in life, I was resilient. I ended up being very popular.
Yes.
And I ended up I'm just saying. I ended up I'm very resilient. Like, just because something negative or bad happened, I do make the best out of it, and I keep it pushing. So yes, I did get beat up. I was the dude who got beat up on the bus stop. But I feel like part of that is just acknowledging, because people like to sweep that shit under the rug and like try to hide it. No, I'm the dude who got beat up on the bus stop.
That's why I tell people I got beat up on 33rd Street. Shit, it is what it is. I would prefer, even nowadays, because these kids always want to grab guns and shit. I preferred my experience. Mm-hmm. At the time when I was growing up, it had me emotional, this, that, and the third. But I appreciated that shit when I got older, for real, because at the end of the day, they taught me to defend myself. They taught me a lesson that Candace needed to be learned, that you need to watch your mouth and be careful what the fuck you say. And if you're not,
everybody wasn't raised like you. That's another thing.
Because I had a slick ass mouth as a child, and I was the youngest one out there, but I was the bossiest, slickest. Probably had the slickest mouth. I still got a slick mouth.
I'll be trying to work on it, child.
So I understood. Well, you know, I caught myself the other day. What's the boy name?
Who?
What's your ex name? That I feel bad afterwards.
Tristan.
Yeah, sorry, Tristan. I felt bad. It was really a joke, but it flew off so quick, and I'm like, "Oh, that sounded."
Did you watch it back?
No, I don't want to. I was already apologetic before then. It was like,
that speaks to your character, though.
It was like a few minutes later, I was kind of thinking about it, like, you know what? I probably shouldn't have said that. Sound mean, but it was so easy. It was just a good joke. It was so easy to just slice that motherfucker real quick, you know. But me and him do not have that kind of relationship. Yep. So if I was him, I would take it as, you know, being out of order, and I would have been like, bitch.
Like, I don't know. It's just like if somebody you don't know calls you like a bitch or says that.
I don't call me a bitch all day. But who was this nigga over here calling me a bitch? I shouldn't have said
that to him, because he already know I don't really care for him like that anyway. So I don't need to reiterate it or make it, you know, a huge thing. We can still be cordial.
Okay. Yeah, because of that situation. It's a few people in my family who haven't gotten to the place of forgiveness that I'm in.
No, I forgive him. We can always be cordial, but we will never be cool nor friends.
That's fair.
But I do forgive him. I do understand what he was going through at the time. I just wish he still would have handled it differently, despite his fear.
And I think he probably
wished the same damn
thing. He's expressed it to me. I don't.
And I completely support y'all still being cool. If you notice, the comments I used to make in the beginning, I do not make none of them comments no more. None of that.
You should talk to Leah, because Leah's still making them.
Oh, well, she's your blood sister, dear. So I'm just an honorary sister. So I'm gonna stay in my place. Kadisha, I love you. I support you, baby.
But no, I definitely forgive him for doing what he did, and I'm not. I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I can't hold grudges. I forgive everybody.
He's a big softie. When he loves somebody, He's very quick to forgive. He's a huge softy. He wants.
And you know, it's
things to
crazy.
work
People
out and be
wouldn't
cool
put
and
it. People, I
cordial.
don't think people would think that about me, like just based off of my personality, like that I am like a
Yeah,
big
because you
ass
can be
softy.
very hard and rough, and you can be very below the belt sometimes if you emotional enough. But when it's somebody he really love and care about, is it's like, bitch,
Yeah.
I forgive you. Forget it. Like you ran over my foot. It's all right. I forgive
Right, I
you.
forgive
Like
No bruised and beaten, but
man, because it's been a few times where I was like, how were you able to forget that person for that? I don't know if I would have been able to do that. It's been a few times. Like you
I
a
don't know.
really big person.
I just think like it's all water under the bridge. It has contributed to making me the person that I am. So I can't be mad. And like I always say, this could be a topic for another episode. But I actually thank Tristan because me becoming positive, HIV positive, that is, me becoming positive gave my life meaning. And like, as you know, like I was aimlessly working jobs
Yes.
with no purpose. I would
Yes.
stay
You
6 months, they
definitely
pissed
got
me off.
so
I'm
much
I'm
more
leaving.
focused and goal oriented.
But that was the first step. I don't know what it was that God was trying to teach me, but that was like the first step of me stepping into who I am now. So I'm
just
not.
happy you didn't keep going through that depression phase.
That the first 3 months now.
That
That first 3
phase.
months.
I didn't say I got here in the easy way.
That
No.
phase.
But I got here.
That first 3 months, child. I think I was drinking 2 of these a day.
That phase is probably why I feel like I could never be friends with dude though, because to see you in that state, it was really hard. Like when he first told me, it's already hard for me to see him cry, period.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm
when
not a
he's
crier.
sitting there, he's like, I'll clean your seats off and I'm dirty. And I'm like, what the heck? What?
I did say all of that.
Like,
I'm
what
like,
the
I know
hell
how
is
to help
wrong?
you.
Like,
Lysol your seat. I was telling
he was
everybody
so
that.
serious. And I'm like, boy, like nothing has changed. Like this is not girlfriends. I'm not finna throw the knife in the garbage.
Right.
Okay.
We learned from that. We learned from that
Right.
episode.
Like this is a bajillion years later. Like please calm down. And I couldn't, fully tell him all that in the moment because he was super emotional. But to watch him go through that depression phase was very hard.
I also want to say that I think that since I was going through it, I have been insensitive to how it made other people feel, because just because it happened to me doesn't mean that they didn't have to deal with it. So like my mom, Brittany, my siblings, my cousins,
Alex,
all of my friends. Yes, they dealt with it too, and they had to process it as well. When I heard, like, I think it was you, and I think Alex told me this too. Like, you were being strong for me, but then when you hung up the phone or when we left each other's presence, you cried. You had to, grieve yourself. So I think that a lot of times, and this is for people who go through anything, period, we don't oftentimes think about how what we go through affects other people, and they have a process too.
Absolutely.
It's gonna hurt them too.
Absolutely. And
it hurt me to see you put yourself down like that.
And especially because that's so out of character for me.
Yes. And as much as we talk about you being conceited and stuff, we all think that highly of you too. So to see such a significant difference, that shit hurt. I'm like, this not my friend. This ain't the man I've known since the first grade. Even his big old bubble head back then still was conceited. Like, who is this person? Like, just drinking himself away, always sad, always crying. I was the crier.
Yeah.
Like, you taking my job. Okay.
That trauma that a person can feel can definitely radiate to those around you. And I think a lot of us who obviously, whether it be family or close friends, when you care about them, sometimes you can go harder for the situation than potentially they can because they're dealing with it head on. So
I did have to back myself off from that because I was there.
and that's why and I want to be clear, and I think Tristan knows this, so I just want to be clear, regardless of how they feel. Him and I have an understanding, we have a relationship, we will always be friends. I've even told people that I've dated after him, like, that's gonna be my friend. We have a bond.
Exes I'll always be friends with too.
We have a bond, and he really did. Even though it happened in a fucked up way, which he acknowledges. I want to make that clear. Like, it's not like he over there like, I'm that nigga. I changed this nigga life.
I never said he didn't acknowledge it though. He probably does. He probably feels remorse and all that stuff. he probably do feel that. It just still don't change the way I feel.
I get it.
But I do. But if he didn't feel like that, I don't believe you would honestly be able to still be friends with him at this point, though.
Yeah, it would have been a very different. But
because I know that my friend is not no fool. That's why I'm like, if I support it because I know you. I know you're not a fool, and he obviously must be very remorseful. And has been being a good friend since all that has happened for you to still keep him around because you're not the type that's just gonna keep letting a motherfucker dog you out.
No.
So that's why I was like, and I support it, and that's partly why I backed off. Once I realized y'all really wasn't getting back together and y'all was just really legit friends, that's when I backed off. I was like, I ain't got shit else bad to say about this man. I'm gonna let it go. Well, he could come to the friend functions. I'm not gonna be mean, like
right. Yeah, but I do want to say too, like maybe in a twisted way, because obviously in order for him to have infected me, he had to have not been on his shit,
right?
And so since me, he has been on his shit.
That's good.
And so and then there are other people I have met that I have helped get on their shit.
Good.
So maybe that's part of the reason why the influence that I have.
And now,
I don't know.
With the job that you're working now, I remember you telling me, like, I really do feel like this is my calling, and you probably wouldn't have been working there had that not happened to you in the first place. So
things happen for a reason. Things, even if they're not the most ideal situations, is what you make out of it.
I ever tell you about the boy who gave me an STD, and he knew he had an STD, but he didn't tell me. And then when I found out,
was he experiencing symptoms when he?
I don't know, but
you go to court with that?
I was really young when this all happened. I didn't even want nobody to know. But I got my medication. I'm trying to bring him his medication. He told me, no, he good. Then so we broke up. But look, so we broke up like trauma. That day, right? Because I'm like, that don't sound right. So you knew, you know what I mean? So you knew or something, like, what the hell? Yes. Okay. So after we break up, and he had my name tattooed on his neck. After we broke up, this girl calls my phone and was like, "Are you messing around with him? That's my boyfriend." Da, da, da. And I was like, "Well, I mean, if that's your boyfriend, why is my name tattooed on his neck?" And she's like, "What? He told me that was his sister." And I was like, "Well, how is that your man if you don't know
what his sister's name is?"
Right.
I've never seen a picture of your sister.
If I remember correctly, he didn't have no sisters or some shit. But it was just like, no. So then she was like, well, she was like asking me to take her to the clinic and all this bizarre stuff. And I'm like, unfortunately, I don't know you. You were the other woman. You have to find your own ride to the clinic, bitch. I don't know what to tell you. It was crazy. It was crazy.
You do sound like a Tyler Perry movie.
It was
right. And he's dated like plenty bitches after that. I don't know if that's something he still has and still passing around. All I know is I walked away.
Infinity
and never looked back.
The infinity clap.
Okay, the infinity clap.
No, well, so wrap it up because we get into the end of the show.
Right. Not in that moment in life.
I do want to say that I do appreciate you for sharing. I appreciate you both for sharing. I appreciate, and I'm glad of the fact that you don't have anything to share because that, in my experience, is in the minority.
Yes,
from people around
and
me. So that is
hope that
great.
It is possible because as a mom raising a young child, that's honestly one of my most constant thoughts is how am I going to protect her? Because my traumatic experience was with a cousin. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, how am I going to protect her?
You from? And like you also said, hurt people, hurt other people. So all these people who potentially are victims out here might be still, creating that cycle as well. To
your people. Story, let me know it's possible.
Yeah, and it's actually inspiring. The fact that you have nothing to share is inspiring because it doesn't. Because in my mind, that shit is normal for people to go through some type of sexual trauma. Like to be touched on or be molested or be raped, whatever.
I think you're the only person I have ever met.
To be honest,
ever that don't have no trauma.
To be honest, because I like even if they were never like even penetrated, there have been stories of somebody touching on them inappropriately, or you know what I'm saying. Just to have nothing, that's a blessing.
I mean, I can think of it was like I was a kid in Walgreens, and some like older guy came up to me and was like, my sister wanted a Tasha salad, but I don't think that's traumatic.
It wasn't traumatic.
The most traumatic thing I ever had.
Walgreens getting some Uno
I'm just trying to
cards
shop
and,
a little bit.
I didn't know what that meant.
Came here for some cough medicine. Left for a little happy time. Like, wait, what?
Oh, speaking of cough medicine, since he bought my shit last week, somebody told me I could use Coraseptic spray to spray in the back of my throat to suck dick.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
guess.
But Mimi is also here. She just said she hasn't been stocking you.
Okay,
Yeah.
and it's $11, right? It was
Listen,
$11.
It was like $11.
Okay.
Don't ask me about numbing spray. I don't have a gag.
Oh, yeah,
reflex.
she
I
don't need
have
it.
no use
She
for
don't
it.
need
Well,
it.
it worked for me. I did use it,
No.
and
I
like it.
So, but you don't need it either. I'm the one that needed shit. You should let me buy it because I hate sucking dick.
I love sucking dick. That probably sounds bad. I love sucking dick.
Right.
Like
It's a
seriously.
chore to me, and if I do it, that means I really, really like you.
See, once you learn how to do it right, the power behind it is some power.
Well, it sounds like the next
Power.
episode.
They talk about pussy power is mouth power.
Horizontal refreshments will be about oral sex.
We should make the next episode about
Let's
oral
do
sex.
it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, Tom, will our episode come out tomorrow at noon still? Okay. All right. So we have our weekly phone calls on Monday at 6. So we can discuss what we're going to discuss around there, but it sounds like oral sex is going to be the topic. I have some interesting stories about oral sex.
Right.
I don't know if I have interesting stories,
Yeah.
but
Oh, I threw up on
I
a
got
dick like
principles.
Sukiyana.
You threw up?
I threw up on a dick like
Sukiyana.
Sukiyana.
Before there was Sukiyana,
Before there was Sukiyana,
Donnie.
there was me.
There was Donnie Carter.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I would love to tell that story, and I'll say why I threw up on a dick.
Oh, right.
but yeah.
Leave them with that. Like that's the tune in next time to hear about what.
Right.
Right.
So. Just to find out. But thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Horizontal Refreshments. Once again, I'm Jamal.
I am Dunny.
Brett.
And we think ready for this photo shoot.
That's
And-
right.
Period.
See y'all.